today I'm going to bring you a review of the Motor Expo, some of the highlights, what's going on, what stood out for me. And I'm going to start right here at the far end of the hall with this absolutely insane 240Z build by Kevans. It's just been finished, the body they were doing for years, but this kit they did in 26 days and they went through several versions till they got it right. In carbon fiber, it is absolutely amazing. I have never seen a 240Z like that, and it has completely blown me away. So this is where I start, and now I'm just going to take you for a walk around, show you what's going on. Now I'm on the Porsche stand, and we have something quite interesting here. The new 911 Dakar. It's basically dressed up with this off-road style kit, and they've jacked the suspension up, but it is designed to get off-road, to take this car off-road. And I believe there's about 3 in the country now. One for sure has gone on the rent drive trip this week out of Bangkok into the wilds, being used off-road. And then we've got this one on the show. And you can see it's quite a neat design. It's got a roof rack, it's got wheel arch trims, it's got an alloy sill plate, and it's even got some cactus plants thrown in. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was in Macau and I saw the Emira GT4 win the sports car race in Macau on its debut there. Pretty sensational. And if you drop down into my videos, 2 or 3 videos down, full report on the Emira GT4 in Macau. It was sensational. In Thailand, they've got a production Emira on their stand, but Lotus are also right into the EV bandwagon. And here they have their big new EV SUV, and they are looking for buyers in Thailand. They want a slice of the EV action. And I know nothing about this, and this is the first time I have seen this in my life. So I'm going to go over to a familiar face, Pete, to talk about the car.
Hi viewers, so we are here at Lotus booth. We are here with these 2 highlight cars, the Emira and the Elettra. So quick overview on the Elettra. It's our first hyper SUV, fully electric. Price started from 5.89, and also the top spec Elettra R starts at 6.59. Very good numbers in sales. We expected maybe about 100 this year, but now the sales have racked up to 150. So very interesting cars. If you're interested, come to our booth. Check it out.
Mercedes are still doing the Maybach full-on luxury things, and this looks as blingy as it gets. But you look at the amount of people that are standing around this car, clearly it attracts attention, and that's one reason you buy a Maybach. The other reason you buy it is for the luxury ride, and without sitting in this, I can say that this has probably got the best ride in all of the halls here. Toyota are the biggest boys on the Thai market. They dominate the market here with a huge market share. So when it comes to the motor show, they want to rock the boat, they want to make waves, and they really have done it this time. This is the Hilux Champ. There we have it down there. Now I'm going to leave you to make your own opinion. Is that really tough? Is that really rugged? Is that what off-road is all about? Getting one step tougher than the next? Or does that look really ugly and really cheap finish? I'll let you make your own opinion. Is it a yeah? Is it a no? You decide. As I sit down next to a BYD Seal, one of the things that is really changing in this motor show is EV and the Chinese brands. If you just stand up and turn you around, BYD now have a massive booth at the show and dozens of cars. I would say upwards of 10 or 12 without counting, and that really shows how it is changing. That would be unthinkable 4 to 5 years ago. Straight over from BYD to Neta. Now Neta, this is another Chinese EV brand, and they are making waves in Thailand because they've rocked up with a tiny EV that is so cheap. It makes a really compelling case for customers to buy, and Thais are going out and buying them in big numbers. But the thing looks cheap. It's really narrow, it's kind of high-sided, it looks like it's going to fall over. It just looks really awkward and not nice at all. But you buy it simply because of the money situation. Anyway, Neta have got big ambitions, and they have rocked up here with their new GT Speedster and Coupe. These cars were launched just a few months ago in China, and Neta want a slice of the action in the GT market. But anyway, these look pretty good. I am quite impressed with them. So here we go. We're going to have electric GT cars coming into Thailand at an affordable price very soon. The Chinese brands are not just rocking into Thailand with EVs. They are rocking into Thailand with just about everything. And they're going for the big SUV market. This thing, Great Wall's Tank, which is probably about the most appropriate model name I have ever seen. It looks a bit like a G-Wagon made in China. It looks big and it looks stocky and it looks pretty agricultural. And this one here is dressed up in a wrap that looks like something John Lennon did in the 1970s. But that's just for show purposes. Here we've got one that has just got a completely crazy big off-road body kit. And if the pricing is right, and with the Chinese, they go for the pricing, this should attract buyers. That looks huge, that looks imposing, that looks crazy. And in a country where the big SUV lifestyle segment is cool and people like, this should find a niche. I wouldn't normally stop on the Hyundai booth, I go straight past, but today there's two reasons. One of them is concept. I've never seen this in the flesh before, so it's well worth a look. And the first thing I've got to say is it's really, really big, much bigger than you would expect. That is a huge concept. This is kind of F-segment style coupe. Looks really, really good. I like the wide body with the air vents and things and the big box arch style. Box arches always do it for me. And again, with this side skirt thing with the aero in it, is quite well done. It looks quite nice. And I like these wheel covers, kind of very rotiform style as well. What I like is if you come round the back and you see this like dot matrix style back end with the lights. And again, you see this old computer graphic with the number 74 and the Louvre's going. And those white diagonal lines feels kind of really 1980s computer style. You think something like Atari ST, something like that. It feels really right back into the 80s computer language. And then if you go around to the front as well, if you look at the front, there's quite a lot going on. Again, you got this same honeycomb style effect on the front. So that for me is pretty good. But the real reason, if you want to visit a booth, if there's a WRC, it's worth a visit. In my book, if you got a WRC on the booth, you make the effort to go and visit. And then I'm just going to finish off here while I'm here with their Ioniq models, because over here they've got the Ioniq 5, which has been around for a while and everyone knows. But this Ioniq 6 I haven't seen before. And that back end is quite interesting, quite strong, kind of fastback. It's really like Mercedes styling from 5-6 years ago. But there's a lot going on there, and they are really trying to stand out. The EV market is getting really crowded. A lot of chatter going on, so you've got to work hard to stand out from the crowd. I'm just going to go back to this concept and finish here, because look at that back end. That is really strong. That diffuser on the back, I really like that mesh. It really feels very, very of the period. In fact, Konanatai walked past and said DeLorean, and I'm like, yeah, DeLorean, that's the first thing that rings a bell. But a lot of coupe stuff going on here, maybe older Corvettes, Carabo, that kind of thing. Looks good, I really like that. You never used to see Tesla at a motor show in Thailand, but everything has changed now. Tesla is here officially. The cars are really well priced and they're really selling well. Whether you like or loathe Elon, his cars set the pace in the EV world. And here they are selling well. In fact, the order book is absolutely brimming full. Mitsubishi have got a new Triton to flog at the show. Well, it's kind of facelifted. The technology goes back decades, so you can't really reinvent the pickup. But there's a lot of pickups in this hall, all around this hall. There are pickups and you need to stand out. So they've created a show truck, a halo, to pull people onto the booth. And this show truck isn't bad at all. You can see they put a carbon fiber grille on it. It's really deep spoiler going on. Carbon fiber air vents feeding in here. And then the stock wheel arch trim cover, the lower section of it, they put a carbon fiber insert in. Looks quite nice. And we've got these carbon fiber air vents as well. We go down the side, we've got this really deep flowing skirt, which has got a carbon fiber trim on it again. And the back is pretty much the same, where they put this carbon fiber insert, and we've got these carbon fiber air exits in the top part as well. And you can see it goes down here, more carbon fiber. Then keeping on the carbon fiber, we've got this big ducktail coming off the roof, and we've got another lip spoiler on the back. And then finally we go down the bottom here, we've got this big carbon fiber diffuser. So this truck looks really strong, really aggressive. People are going to come rolling onto the booth to take a look at this. And then the Mitsubishi salespeople have got to try and sell them that. Mitsubishi have got a cutaway of their Triton chassis with the engine and the powertrain in it. And yeah, they want to show their turbo technology, stuff like that. Some fancy words as well to try and impress people. But if you actually look at the chassis, this is like something from 50, 60 years ago. And then you've got leaf springs as well. And I am not sure you really want to be cutting away and showing people that you are still in 2023 selling a vehicle with leaf springs. Man, this looks really, really old. If we look under here, this could be something out of a museum. BMW got a big booth here, a lot of cars. Nothing particularly stands out for me, but I just want to mention the big new grille. It still does absolutely nothing for me. I cannot get away from EVs at this show. And this, the Air EV from Wuling, you know as much as I do about the car now. Looks pretty nice actually. I quite like this. I like the way they've built this framework that's lit up around. It feels like the end of a production line. But this feels really like a JDM K car dressed up. It looks pretty cool. I like these effects here on the vents. Got 14-inch rims on it, look pretty nice. And they've topped it off with a boot spoiler, well a tailgate spoiler I should say, on the back. It's got a diffuser on the bottom. It's got a big slab back to it, and you can see it looks like a light across the back. I think it's actually done quite nicely. This really feels like a JDM K car that has been dressed up. Lexus get pretty wild on their front end styling, but just look at that. That's taking it to the next level. I just want to mention Impact Speed Park, because we have a booth on the mezzanine floor right opposite the main entrances. You can't miss it. And for the duration of the show, the Speed Park is doing a special offer. You come here, you pick up a voucher, you take it to the reception at the Speed Park, you get a discount of single sessions, discount of packages, away you go. And the last thing I need to mention, this kart I'm sitting in, it was driven by Alex Albon, and it's actually been autographed by Alex Albon as well. So follow in his footsteps, get over to the Speed Park and hit the loud pedal. You really cannot go wrong with the R35, and it is still going. This is as old as the hills now. It's almost a classic car, but it's still on the price list, it's still for sale, and it's still on the Nissan booth. You can go into your dealer here and order one, and it still looks as big and as crazy and as mental and as pumped up and as Godzilla-like as it did the day it was launched. The Motor Show and the Motor Expo both have classic car displays. The Motor Expo's one this year's grown, and it's quite nice. It's a real nice selection of cars. And we start with this late 70s 911 Targa RWB. I love the whole RWB thing. And then I also love this KE16 van next to it, which was a classic revival a few weeks ago. And just on the other side, we've got this stunning 70s Alfetta GTV. Looks absolutely beautiful. 356 next to it. Back to this side, we've got this Daihatsu little K van. That comes to a lot of car meets and events. I got an MG here. Then got a W107 in that green, looks really, really nice. And an XK120, of course. You can't go wrong with those. Then this Nash is very, very rare. There's a few in Thailand, but you rarely see them. Just check up on the other side. We've got a Mini here, I've got a Beetle there, got a 500 there. That's the early days of mass motoring and nailed in 3 cars. And then we've got an Amazon estate, and they are incredibly rare. I can't recollect last time I saw one. Then there are 2 cars here I've actually made videos on, and one of them is Nuke's Elan 2+2, or +2 I should say, before I upset the Lotus people. He brought it up to Classic Revival last year, the only one in Thailand, and I was blown away and I jumped straight on it, drove around the car park, made a video on it. So if you want to see that, I'll drop a link in the description below. It was kind of half finished then, but I was eager to see that. Then we got an Austin 7, got a Corvette in the old pace car traditional style, Type 2 Combi, and then the other car, I've made a video on it, which is the headline here. This absolutely stunning 240Z build by B&T Performance Retro. It looks fantastic, although the lights in here do not bring out the orange color on this car. Anyway, I also made a video on that, so if you want to catch up with that, I'll drop a link below. That's the classic car display, some pretty cool stuff here. There's also some light aircraft, some other flying machines, and a bunch of boats, simulators, helicopters, all sorts of things going on here. But I'm running out of time. Now I want to get down the modified cars and see what's going on, because I've got to be out of here pretty quick. Okay, I am going to stop at the boats for 1 second, because this is a 5.6 litre V8 outboard motor that is absolutely enormous. I have no idea what size of boat that goes on, but it is huge. And if you want that, it's going to set you back 1.75 million baht. The show's grown a bit bigger this year. I think all these Chinese EV brands coming in have pushed up the whole space. So usually at this end, you have a lot of modified cars, but you don't this year. We have a little cluster here of 3 EKs, all modified up, and an R8 behind, and a few more down here which I'll go and check out. We might have lost the modified cars, the kind of 90s JDM stuff like the R34s, the Silvias, the Supra Mark 5s, that kind of thing. But what I've actually got for the first time I have ever seen in Thailand is a display area of modified and customized EVs. I'm going to start right here with this Tesla, because just look at that. That is down on air. It's got carbon fiber trims all around it and a big carbon fiber rear spoiler on it. Completely crazy. And then if we have a look, we've got this little Wuling Air EV it's called, and then we've got another Tesla right down on air, jack down. Look at that. The wheel has disappeared. It's a Tesla, and again we've got all this carbon fiber detailing going on. And here behind me we've got 4 BYDs all modified up, and just behind we've got an Aura Good Cat on air, got an MG4 that's modified, and this is the future happening now. You will not see another FOM look like this. Full red leather interior. It looks absolutely amazing inside. I really like it. Need to talk to the owner, find out what is going on.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kun Fame, Mom Luang Paudikitiyakon. This car is the Form 1, originally from Japan. And of course that it is an electric vehicle. And the reason that we modify the parts and the cars like this is because that we want to make this car to be one of the most unique cars in the world and in Thailand, because right now this is the only one and only one in Thailand and only one in the world. Now let's take a look inside. Original color of this car before it becomes creamy green, it was pink before, and interior is black. And we decided to change the color of the interior to red is because that red represents more of sportive looks. And we decided to put this as the gimmick, you know, the Marshall speakers, but you can use in the car too if you connect the Bluetooth with the phone as well. And the special thing of this car that I would like to present is the back of the car. Normally here it used to have the rear seats at the back of the car, but now we think that it was unnecessary to have the rear seat, so we decided to decorate at the back of the car to be the storage. And here, if you look here, you can put your stuff here as well inside here. As you can see here that we would like to make this car to have something like a muzzle to make it more wider, because the original one is so thin. So basically this one is the most gorgeous one in the market right now and here in Thailand.
So that's it from the Motor Expo for me, and I've come back to this Mitsubishi concept because I quite like this. I think that's quite cool. For me, the highlight has got to be the 240Z build. That is just so over the top, so crazy. To do that on a 240Z is just completely and utterly nuts. And I also quite like that 911 Dakar as well. That kind of appeals to me. And obviously the Porsche 911 959 Dakar thing is just the stuff of absolute legends. So I kind of like that as well. So those are kind of my picks as well. And some of the classics are absolutely bang on as well. I really like that display of classics. There's some really cool stuff. As ever with my video, I just kind of go around and have a look and see what appeals to me. And that's it. I'm over and out from here. It's coming up to 4 o'clock. I need to try and get back to the other side of Bangkok before the rush hour kicks in.